Hi. Thank you for your patience. I'm super stressed because I have to talk in English, and I'm quite okay with that. But I wasn't prepared for that. The guy there that organized the talk didn't told me before yesterday, so I had to translate all my slides and prepare myself. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna read a lot of things on my screen, I think, because I can't really improvise in English, but I try to do my best. So hi, I'm Tom, aka Tom Avatars. Originally, I'm a electronic music artist. I used to perform a lot early 2000. And when I used to perform, I used to disguise myself in many kind of avatars. First, Tom avatars. I stopped this activity, kind of stopped this activity at about 2012, and started to make sound design and music for games with students at first. And then I started to make a lot of game jams, a lot. And we founded an indie studio called Concrete Games in Rennes, in France, with two friends. And I started to program a bit at about 2014. But I have a huge imposter syndrome here because it's called RGB Games Programming Conference. Okay, so I'm not a proper programmer, so please be nice. I'm here to be a bit of a clown, I think, to show you my take on programming, but from an artistic point of view, a crafter point of view. I do dirty program. I'm a dirty programmer. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna show you perhaps a bit some trailers to show you the games we made. So we made a few games, commercial grade games that never really sold a lot of units, but still we made them. Our first game was Hyperon. So I want to show it to you because the trailer is kind of fun and the game is kind of fun too. It was fun. Do you have my voice here on the mic? Okay, so this game was shit. Also, I'm not using PowerPoint as you can see, so this is also a bit of dirty for me. I'm sorry about it. In this game, I made all the sound and the music. The music is kind of procedural. Half procedural, and it was so the first commercial game, and I made all the integration code in Unreal. We work with Unreal since the beginning, and I'm programming in Blueprint. This trailer is absolutely awful. I think I will not show it to you because it's really bad, but I have a little slide after where I talk a bit about this game because it has a kind of genesis for the project that came after. I'll show you this one because it's about the game I'm currently working on. So quickly, it's a game album, and I will talk a lot about it in the talk. Yeah, party time. Okay, so that's it for the trailers. So we made also a lot of game jams, but I will not show you this. Okay, where it all really begins matter. So I didn't show you the trailer because it's dirty, and I'm ashamed about it. But this game is a 30-minute experience. We made it in 2018, no, 2019. And we were four. We made it in about 3 months in a kind of game jam fashion. The first concept was about using custom gravity to propel? I don't know. You know, yeah. I don't know what that. And so we made it. I was in charge of especially shaders, a bit of game design, sound, music integration, and all the code for shaders and music. And sound. I'm speaking about this game because it's the kind of genesis of what happened after this one. It was a game with very few mechanics, and what I made with sound and shaders and things like this is to highlight simple actions like jumping, landing, propelling. This is very important for the next games. I also think that making complex game is cool, okay, but it's also cool to highlight what you always do in a game, like walking. When you walk, but it can be cool to walk and juicy walk, you know. So this is very important. Also, I won't work on music. It was a bit my best work in music. Now I do better, even better. I use the music like level design, you know, very dynamic with the actions of the player. But the whole progression in the game is act on the music always, and also the synesthesia. So the links between visual gameplay and music and sound. So here's Square Paper City, which is a personal project. I'm working alone on it. I started the project in 2020, end of 2020. I made a prototype, a demo, in about 6 months. And at the meantime, I worked on a Kickstarter, and I was alone on the Kickstarter. Don't do this. This is dumb. I make a lot of dumb decisions. My life is dumb, you know. But it's really funny to be dumb. I worked on a Kickstarter to give me the most chance to succeed. I also prepared a build for the Steam Next Fest to launch the build at the same time of the Kickstarter. And also I had a presentation at the Stunfest, which is a French video game festival. I was ready. I was really hot, you know, and the Kickstarter failed at about 30%, so really failed. So I shelved the project, and then 1 year later, I received just a basic email from Epic, which granted me nice money for this project. So this was really cool. So yay! And I started the project, the production of the game back in this year. But I'm gonna explain why there is this 1 year gap. It's a dumb story. But cool story. So what is Square Paper City? It's a game album. I wanted to try to find a new way to distribute, to produce, to compose a music album, because linear music is good, but there's so much diversity on all platforms. There are so much artists making linear music that it wasn't an option for me to make linear music. as a musician, and I thought it was really cool to try to make some non-linear music pieces. So I started to make this project. I work on it in like a sandbox for game design, but also programming and everything. It's like I don't have a production. No. Also, because I'm working on it, I don't really need a production. I can, of course, sometime make me some timeline and milestones, like for the Kickstarter or things like this, but I don't like it. Also, production for me in this kind of project could break the creative process, because my creative process with it is to try a lot of things. I have ideas during sleep, or before sleeping. A lot of ideas come before sleeping. I love to think about programming before sleeping. I fall asleep really quick when I think about programming. It's weird, but it works. And often I quickly prototype. Then I work in a loop, but I'm gonna talk a bit about it after this. Also, having an anarchic production helps for to make mechanics emerge, because I often have accidents in programming because I am a bad programmer, and so things emerge. Like in shader, shader, I use the material nodes in Unreal, and I use the nodes like no one in the industry, actually. Because there are nodes here to make nice grass, but I don't make grass either, so I have nice experimentation with it. Okay, 80 minutes. How I develop and how I compose, because it's a game album, so the composition of the music and the development of the game is the same process, because the code is making the music work, and the music give sense to the code and mechanics. So I always work in loop. So I always go back and forth between developing and composition. It's no vertical. I don't have an idea of programming that's gonna properly condition, the composition. When I program, then compose, composition can go back to program and say, hey, no, don't do this. Okay, you get it? You get it? Okay. So I have to, my mind need to be freed from perfection. I have to embrace imperfection, because in an interactive experience, players control what you've done. So the music can't be perfect, because there is a user behind. So I have to embrace this, and it's really important also. So a little example of what I make. I used to work with Fmod Studio, and I changed this a month ago. So for the kind of procedural music, I always use synth Hyperion and before small stems of music with random loops to make diversity in music. It's kind of classical, but it's important to say. So then what is important is to make the basic inputs and action musical, so like walking and jumping. Boom. Okay. The gameplay is permanently connected to sound, so gameplay acts on the sound always. I have some few mechanics like this, like rhythm game mechanics. I always try to tell kind of stories with little action like this. Here the height of the character is acting also on the scale. When I jump you here. And this is a system, the height acting on the scale. It's a system just for this piece of level. And all the game is like this. Musical level evolution, I will not talk a lot about it. It's just you know, a trigger box in levels that make the music progress. Very classical thing. And I also like to just invent some stupid system to have fun, like this. It's a kind of gun, and it plays drums with a reverb. Okay, next. So, switching from FMod Studio to Metasound, I decided a month ago to change all the audio system, and my game is broken, but it doesn't matter because I have time. Yeah, I decided to migrate my sound system from FMod to Metasound because Metasound is really cool. It's a new system of Unreal since the version 5. Why it's very cool? Because it's a proper DSP, digital signal processor environment, so I can literally generate music within Unreal, and so this opens a lot the creative process. There's also an integrated clock system to control everything that has rhythm. Because with FMod Studio, I used to hack a little the system in order to retrieve the rhythm from FMod to Unreal. There is a system, but I had to hack something kind of to make some synesthesia. Metasounds allows me to efficiently convert audio data, like audio amplitude, with envelope follower to trigger things in the game. So it's really better. So FMod was like this. I showed you earlier, but it's the same example. So you have a parameter controlling the different stems. Also, FMod is only sample based. There's no synthesis in FMod. So I can't generate some. You can, but you have to build plugins in C++. I can't do this. So. Okay, and with Metasound, it looks like this. So it's a graph with nodes. And I really like this way of building things like modular synthesis. There's more freedom in it. So you have nodes, and you do whatever you want with them. And also, why I really wanted to go in Metasound is because do you know Max MSP in here? No, Max MSP, it's audio, also visual environments that existed about 30 years, perhaps more, used a lot by artists, you know, contemporary artists for installation and things like this. And 1 year ago, they released Rainbow, which is a kind of framework to export your MaxMSP patches in other environment, like you can export it in C++. And the people from Cycling 74 was working on in Unreal integration, and they released it 1 week ago. So I procrastinated a lot in it. And you can now export your own patches from Max to Metasound, which is really cool. Here I have a reverb from MaxMSP and this kind of big synth, the kick one, which isn't a kick at all. Okay, so time is flowing, so let's go. So I'm really happy because the world is opening and I have so many opportunities to make crazy systems. I have to speed up a lot, so I will not elaborate a lot about this whole section. Synesthesia, you know what synesthesia is? It's like communication between visual and sound, but not only people. It's a non-pathological neurological phenomenon in which two or more senses are combined. And I love this word, so I use it to speak about what I'm making in the game. So yeah, to make some synesthesia in my games, I use very simple tricks. I use a lot the bobbing, the camera bobbing, because it just gives rhythm to what you are doing. Just walking in rhythm with the music, it works a lot. I trigger lots of events on the beat. Timelines in Unreal, it's a component that I really love, and I have a slide just after this to explain why. I use a lot of vector length also, because it can give some depth and movement to what you play in music, like, you know, adding in effects or anything. And quantification, I have some calculation about quantification to have more rhythm system. So music data communication, it's okay. I'm not sure it's very important. I can say a lot about it, but yeah, you have to communicate data between actors in your scene. So there are a lot of ways to do it. I refactored the project after the Kickstarter to use a lot of blueprint interfaces, which helps a lot for the health of the project, because you avoid hard reference in your actors, and this is great. Now I can compile in 2 seconds instead of 10 minutes, so this is really cool. So I send informations like beat per minute and subdivisions, change to music parameters with to musical parameters like filters, effects, pattern change, gameplay elements, etc. This is just an example of the new Unreal clock. So you have to register a clock, give it a beat per minute, and then you can use it in all of your actors just by register it by its name, and it's really practical. Also, what it's important with Quartz is it works in another thread than the game thread, so it works fine. It's consistent. This slide, I like it. I will try to go quick because there's 7 minutes left. So timelines in Unreal is great because it's a component that you can play, you know, give it a length and play. But the problem with timelines, when you don't know how really to use it, is that you have to enter the node and do curves by hand. It's not a good way to do it. I'm passionate about phasers and ramps, things like this, to sequence things in all the music environment. And the idea is to use a constant signal going from 0 to 1 and looping. With this, with a ramp, constant ramp, you can do what you want with some calculations, and you can have you can create sequences and make whatever you want with them. So it's modular, it's constant, consistent. It allows also timing to be altered very easily and on the fly. You can apply curves to this normalized signal. And I show you some examples. So this one is really important. To use the timeline as a ramp or phaser, you just had to divide the playback position by the timeline length. It gives you a normalized value of the timeline. And with that, you can just retrieve this signal and make crazy function, apply curve to this signal, etc., create sequences. Here it's a function to set the location of an actor. And here it's a gate sequencer which triggers its triggers. So here, this is an experiment I made last week, and I think I will make a little game of it before making the other one, like a single game, you know. So here's a visualization of an actor main phaser with its secondary curve. So I have to shoot it before. All the actors here are controlled by phasers. So you see the main ramp in green and the secondary ramp with a specific curve on the right. Okay. This, I will stop here. The next one is more interesting. Well, here I control the scale and also the root note of the whole musical system. And here I apply a sine curve to the whole. So it's the same sequence but read with a sine wave. Logarithmic, and here exponential. And back to linear. So this is pretty cool. I have to make a lot of research still because sometimes it's not so consistent, but perhaps it's better to work with a quartz clock. I'm not sure, but it's really fun to work like this. Yeah, for square perplexity, I worked a lot with shaders and instant static mesh because there's a lower cost, so I have to see. There are a lot of cubes here. Yeah, I work only with cubes, so I'm not, you know, I don't 3D model. Also, all the platforms I made in the constructor. Yeah, but it works. I have found some cool tricks to not, you know, be crazy. And here's an example of a material. I'm using a lot of world position offset, vertex shader, because it's really fun to make things move, and a lot of per instance random is good. I think I have some. I can access data of instant static mesh, but I have to make some research again. So I use per instance random to you know, to don't have a unique movement. Okay, 2 minutes. The concert. So I received the Epic Mega Grant for the game, but I decided that I will not use it for the game, but for another project, which is the concert version of the game. So I duplicated the project and adapted it to be played in concert. What does it mean? I'm gonna explain something in 2 minutes. So I played the first concert in May in Rennes, and I'm gonna play another time here. So the technologies behind the concert is just using MIDI. So there's MIDI is a protocol, a musical communication. An integration of MIDI in Unreal, and so it's kind of easy to use. Here's an example. So I'm using this sequencer, which is the HAPAC. I'm using MIDI control change for the camera movement. Okay, let's stop here because you're gonna see the concert tonight. Up. MIDI has limits. The constraints are values are integers. Sorry, going from 0 to 127. But it's not really important. I just have to interpolate and convert it to normalized value. So Unreal doesn't receive MIDI clock. So I have to make my own clock with my sequencer, sending regular MIDI notes. My controller has limits also. It's a bit, but it's okay. My controller doesn't have an instant BPM change, so I have to do it with a knob. Okay. So I'm using program change to control data table, which send a lot of different kind of parameters. So the kind of camera, etc. I'm using control change for the camera movement. So I have a spline, and I'm using I'm normalizing 0 to 127 control value to drive the camera on the spline. MIDI notes. Yeah, MIDI notes. I'm using a lot of MIDI notes with a big switch to control specific events in the concerts. Yeah. So I would like to get another Epic grant to work on the game, but really work on the concert. Because I would like to make this concert lot more modular, because this is very scripted and it's not the most fun part, but it's cool. Okay. And then this concert is really imperfect. I played it at the Stunfest and I had crashes, but not the game. The game worked like a charm. Now the crashes came from my sequencer. I don't know why. So it's not my fault. And it was incredible. I showed the concert to the organizer of the Stunfest before playing, because they had to know what I was making. And I had a little bug, and they said, "Yeah, the bug is really cool. Keep the bug for your concert." Okay, why? Because it gives some dynamics to the concert, and it also gives some comprehension to the people who see this and say, "Oh, yes, it's real time. Oh, it has bugs." So it's really good to make the people understand what it is, and not only something that like you have a video and it's okay. No, it's all real time. So I had 5 crash during the concert. It was great because it generated empathy from the public with me, and I was horribly stressed. I was like, I don't want to play this concert again. But it was really cool. People was really nice. Much. My talk is finished. So, if you have questions. in the future version of Unreal.
So you used the timeline to trigger like action that happen to cubes. So you don't use like the what do you call the regular like delay thingy, and you don't like. How do you update the position of the cube? You just use the timeline, or you use
because also what is cool with timeline is that you don't have to make operation in the tick, in Unreal. So it's a secondary tick kind of. So you have control over performance and time. And what I do is normalizing the timeline, I showed you, and then I can do what I want with this. I just have to create function to allow or not the value to pass, to apply curves, and then I put the function in the flow of the timeline in the signal, and then it happened like this.
And you did all that in Blueprint?
Yeah, only Blueprint. Yeah. I also have to stress test thing, especially with the scenes with a lot of actors. In the game, when you see the millions of cubes which are moving, I use just material parameter collection in Unreal, which allows me to send from anywhere just one value to a parameter which is in a shader, and then I do some little magic to randomly, move the cubes, but at different, not rates, but different times. So some cubes, I don't do some dumb calculation like multiplying, dividing from, I don't know, the position in the world, thing like this, and then it feels like every cubes are controlled kind of. It's a nice trick.
So you said you have 1 million cube?
You
know it, or like you computed it?
No, I'm not sure about it, but perhaps not 1 million. Yes, I think 1 million. Sometime, all my platforms also where you work are all made of cubes, and I do this at the constructor. And when I built this whole system, sometimes it broke everything. But I think there are million cubes. Yes, I could do a little calculation to see my loop to see how how much I have. But I think million. Yes.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see like the material load on your scene, because like this would be like very interesting.
Yeah. Thank you very much.